Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Kooplings! Welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack Podcast. Super Bowl day! Let's go Chiefs! Woo! Swifty Bowl! So excited. This is the first Super Bowl that I'm going to be watching for the Super Bowl and not the halftime show or commercials. How are you today, Donnie and Delvin?
Happy Taylor Bowl Sunday, people.
Hell yeah!
You know, the Taylor City Chiefs against those
So
other
excited.
guys.
So excited. She did her shows in Japan. She flew back. She's
Konnichiwa.
going to attend, cheer on her bow. Very exciting day.
Very
Is she
exciting
doing
day. Not
the?
for
She
football
performing?
fans.
No, she's not performing. Usher is performing.
Usher.
Usher.
Ursher.
Who hasn't been relevant in like 20 years, but that's okay.
Never.
Damn.
The halftime show is for nowadays.
No, Delvin.
Shout
That's,
out to the homie
that's
Usher.
true.
I do like Usher,
Nah,
though. I do like
He's
him.
been very relevant.
Has he?
Yes, he has.
Oh, okay.
He's been relevant. He just put out something a year ago?
Everybody
Very
puts out albums a year ago. That doesn't make them relevant.
He's very Usher
By that-
very relevant.
Metric, Sammy Davis.
Who?
Right,
Sammy
exactly.
Jr.? Isn't he dead?
Yes.
I don't think that's how that works, Doc.
But yeah, this is a video game podcast. We will talk about video games probably maybe for a couple minutes before we talk about other things.
We had big Nintendo news this week.
We do.
Didn't we
Kind
have
of.
the direct yesterday?
We did not.
What?
We had a direct. We had a big direct yesterday. Wasn't it yesterday?
We had a parody Nintendo Direct that I put on, and it was
Parody? What are you
went
talking
very,
about?
very fun.
What you mean parody?
You're not excited for Animal Crossing Happy City gentrification?
Jesus.
I am. That's not real. Oh shit!
Goodness,
God damn it!
goodness gracious.
So none of that was real. None of the stuff that was doing there was real.
Delvin, I was not the one that was hosting a real Nintendo Direct.
No brain age. No new brain age.
No new brain age. You don't have to do advanced calculus. It is on my YouTube, though. For those who missed it, I premiered it on my Twitch channel yesterday. I was very happy with how it turned out.
R.I.P. Art Academy Rule 34.
I'm so glad that you liked it, Delvin. That's really exciting. I didn't know you watched it.
I thought I was just so happy. I thought I was going to get a whole bunch of new games and just no. I said, oh,
We might. We do have some rumors. Nate the Hate comes through with some rumors for us that we will jump into. But first,
Had
what have you
nothing
been
but
playing,
rumors
Delvin?
In like 2024, it's just a whole lot of rumors.
Not a goddamn thing. I've been listening to podcasts, working, dealing with life.
Apparently
laughing at
jamming the new
PSVG.
Usher album.
No, not at all. Listen to PSVG for 4 hours. Talk about something.
How'd you like that show?
Wait, you guys went on for
Great.
4 hours?
We did not go on.
Just
It was
about.
not that long.
It was
not.
just 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Do not. It was shorter than normal.
That is debatable.
Because
I
it's just the
listened to
two
the
of
whole
us.
Just the two.
Well,
of
like
us.
an hour after y'all were finished.
Delvin
with the
wasn't here.
show,
Delvin didn't
All-
come to
No.
the show this week.
The
Absolutely
big
not.
news for you guys was
2
about
hours, 40 minutes,
Oh, felt like
Sir.
2 hours.
sir.
That's like
Sir.
the length of a feature
And-
film.
Yeah, they were longer than Avatar.
Goodness.
The news that you guys were talking about Starfield coming to PlayStation
Mhm.
was made irrelevant right after your show.
That's what made it
Why is that?
amazing. Because I listened to the
Because the
apparently
people
that
said
was-
because Nate said that he thinks this is not true.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like it's still 1,000 people that are saying it is true. So I think ultimately nobody knows what the hell's happening, which is what we said on
No
our show.
shit. Nobody
said on our
ever knows
show-
what the hell's happening.
I said on the show,
Yeah.
like every other
did.
sentence, we don't know. We're just talking about what ifs. Nobody knows,
What?
and we'll
what-
see. So
Nate
What
was
made it
solely
amazing
responsible
was-
for Gamer World War III.
Yes, what made it amazing?
he didn't
was-
break that story. That
He
wasn't him.
popularized it.
No, he didn't. That was
That's
Xbox.
what I
era.
heard. I heard the news from Nate the Hate.
Yeah, that was
That's all
Xbox.
that
era.
matters. No, we don't care about that. Nate.
Okay.
What was amazing was Donnie sounded so defeated. He was
Sounded
like,
defeated. I wasn't
yeah, 'cause
defeated.
no, not because of the news. It's because you had the whole play. Like people who watch PSVG, we should make this about PSVG, but we are right now.
We got nothing else to talk about.
Donnie laid out the whole game plan last year. What Game Pass is gonna do and how Activision's going to do all these things, and it's gonna be cool. And it was amazing. Everything Donnie said sounded amazing, and within less than a week, it all became irrelevant.
Well, that's true. And
it was so wild.
I definitely said that if any of this is true, then that whole Activision thing we did for a year, I was just completely wrong on. And I wasn't the only one. The majority of us were.
Yeah.
Everybody.
The majority was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had conversations about that for almost a year.
Almost a year. Yeah, a year. We're talking about what Call of Duty's going to do for Game Pass and all these things, and it's like as soon as they get it, they're like, never mind.
Never mind. We're going third party.
Wow. But we'll see. We'll see if whatever they say. You know, who knows?
I feel like this.
Maybe they'll be at the direct.
Yeah. I feel like this is the equivalent of what happened with Cody Rhodes this past week. The whole same thing. It's the same situation. Oh,
now see what would be great. What would be great is if Phil Spencer was working us to then pull off the turn. They were like, tell him Starfield and everything's coming to PlayStation, and then swoop in and be like, nah, not something Xbox. It's more exclusive than it's ever been. Could you imagine that?
We're going to WrestleMania.
He comes in like Vince McMahon. Fuck you guys.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
That'd be hilarious.
I like Vince McMahon.
Oh, well, that's good. Well put. Well put.
No, absolutely not.
I meant like super heel. Like super heel. Triple H's not super heel, though.
Oh, man.
Anyway, we've lost our entire base in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. They are here.
Nobody would know that this is a Nintendo podcast.
That's been that way for some time.
It's okay. I like that. Doesn't need to be just Nintendo. We gotta it's half Nintendo, half Shaq.
Right.
This is the Shaq.
This is
correct.
more of a Taylor Swift podcast than it is a Nintendo.
Swift Shaq.
Yeah,
I love it.
Shack.
Love it. Guys, I downloaded Fortnite.
Oh yeah? Why is that?
So contrary to popular belief, it is not because there's going to be a song named Fortnite on the upcoming Taylor Swift album that I just found out last week. I had been considering it for some time, but the thing that made me pull the trigger was the Disney investing stakes into Epic Games.
Yeah.
And I knew for some time that this was like a multiverse that they're creating in Fortnite. But I did not realize just how much of a multiverse it is. Like, this is like the metaverse, like more of a metaverse than like Mark Zuckerberg wishes he could do that. Mm-hmm. So like I've been wanting to do it for a while because I want to play rocket racing, and I am also a prop hunt enjoyer from Call of Duty. And I know that there's prop hunt in Fortnite. So I downloaded it. I actually tried to get it all running on my Steam Deck. I went as far as to get the Epic Games launcher. I downloaded it, set it all up, and it was all working. And then when I went to go play Rocket Racing, I would play for it would play for 10, 20, maybe 30 seconds at most, and then it would boot me out every single game. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is not a problem with my internet. I'm able to play part of the game. Why is it kicking me out? And so I'm like, let me just download it on my Switch and try it on my Switch. And I had no problems on my Switch with staying in the matches. So I'm like, it's probably just a Steam Deck issue.
Yeah, Steam Deck.
Yeah, I'll
optimization. Go figure.
Yes. The Steam Deck told you don't belong here.
Well, I'm sure it's probably a problem with keeping our stream up. It just went offline, disconnected. But we're back, so it's okay.
Yeah, I've got nothing, no red flags over here.
Yeah.
Nothing changed with me.
Yeah, no alarms over here. Everything was
okay. That was just the first time that I saw that in a while. Also, so I've been playing it on my Switch, and I played my first game of Rocket Racing, and I thought I was a god because I came in first and it wasn't even close. And I'm like, I'm playing like against a bunch of kids. Like, this is going to be so easy. I'm going to slay in this game. And then I found out that the first game of Rocket Racing that you play, you're paired with bots that the names just look really convincing.
Yeah.
I thought I was like amazing. I thought I was really good.
Wow.
But I did my next few games. I still did really well, like 3rd place, 4th place, things like that. But I've been really into the prop hunt. It's a lot of fun. I get really excited when I get kills in the game. It's like really fun. So I'm not gonna be like a Fortnite like obsessor, but like I'm gonna
better get it while you can. And I'm about to like lose $100 to DLC again because I'm gonna get back into Rock Band whenever those guitars come out.
Yeah, I might do the same.
I'm very excited.
How much is the guitar?
We don't know yet. All they've done is announce it. I would imagine, knowing guitars, probably $100, maybe 150, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna get 2 of them. I might get one to have and like one to keep safe in case one breaks, and or if Jack wants to play. But yeah, I'm excited to get new guitars. That's
Can you tag me when that goes up?
Like absolutely. Yeah, it's called the Riff Master. It's from PDP. There's hands-on impressions. People have it. They're playing with it, like actual Guitar Hero, or like Rock Band creators. You know, so like these are really good people, and they're like, it's
people
a great
who
guitar.
know.
Yeah, they're like, it's a great controller. You can use it. And I'm like, great, perfect. I'm back in.
Oh, I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. From the first time I talked about it last week to now, I've gotten maybe 3 or 4 hours in. I've been playing it mostly at night when I get home from work, either on the couch while Melissa watches something, or maybe in bed a couple times before. It goes into there's a lot of Zelda-isms that I wasn't aware of in this game.
Oh yeah, like what?
You'll get like you'll complete like a little. It's hard to explain. You go into like these rifts that completely change the way the game looks, and everything is like very almost like astral chainy. It's like a very like other dimension, very spacey and stuff.
Ooh.
And if you like, you'll like usually get like an arena to fight monsters in. And if you fight the monsters, you get a chest. And when you open the chest, it does the da 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 da. And the further you progress in the game, the more the little areas that you explore open up. And there are like hidden paths like off to the sides, and like maybe if you uncover everything or get everything out of the way, like you'll find a different path to find different stuff. And they're like little mini arena battles. It's like hard pressed to call it like a dungeon. It's just kind of reminds me of like that little forest area in Skyward Sword, where there's like little like arches to go like over top of you and go that way, and then you can go under them and go the other way. And it's just like little Zelda-isms. There's a little more Zelda flavor here than I ever expected.
Is it difficult?
No, I'm not having any. The only thing that's difficult is like this. I got to tell you, the combat mechanic that I was trying to explain last time, right, with everybody being with each character being on each Joy-Con, I'm still not like really used to it. That's the only challenge, is mastering this dual wielding characters at the same time. Now I'm getting better at it. And like the further you progress, like you can upgrade, there's like skill trees that you can unlock and stuff, so you can get different attacks and things like that. But generally speaking, I use Cheshire when I'm doing combat. So it's like the only time I bring him out. So if I'm not in combat, I generally, because Cereza will hold him. So like you can just hold him and walk around. So I'm generally just doing that. And I only really do the dual wield when I am attacking. But there are times where you think you're controlling one, but you're controlling the other, because you think movement is the left stick, but you're trying to move Cheshire and it's on the right stick. Like
that would mess with my brain.
Yeah, I'm like 5 or 6 hours in, and I'm still like finding moments where I'm like, wrong one, other stick. That's the only challenge that the game has. The actual game itself hasn't been all that bad at all. It's gorgeous. And these little riffs that I was trying to explain, I posted some pictures in the Discord. Like they're almost like No More Heroes-esque in terms of like visual pizzazz.
Cool.
Just like very contrasty, like big black spaces, purple and pink, and like almost like shooting stars, and like it's kind of epic. It's very ethereal. It's very astral. It's kind of out there. Never expected it. Like I hit these riffs and you hit it and like the whole screen goes white and like shakes and it explodes. And then you're in like this kaleidoscope of like tie-dye colors and you come back down there. I'm like, Jesus, this game is wild.
Is it visually overwhelming?
Yes. And I love it.
Like Bayonetta is.
Yeah, but in a completely different way. This is almost like in like a Sayonara Wild Hearts kind of way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of in like, and I from all of the marketing and the demo that I watched and followed, I wasn't prepared for that. And that's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm still digging Bayonetta Origins. I'm really glad I got it. Like I'm having, you remember, because when we first showed it, I was like, I'm not getting that. I don't want like baby's Bayonetta game. And then I played the demo and I was like, wait a second, it's actually
like
pretty good. Right. I was like, but it's actually pretty good. Now that I've played, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours of it, it's way better than I thought it would be. And I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to keep playing it with what little time I have to play. But you know, as the show goes on, more games are coming. Tomb Raider releases this week, and I've been very excited for the Tomb Raider collection. So I'll have to try and get some time in with that as well. At some point. But I need this direct to show up because I've been sitting on a mountain of Switch cash, just trying to figure out where to put it, how to spend my money.
Well, we will be talking about that shortly.
Hopefully.
Anything before we jump into the news?
No, that's it.
Okay.
News.
Nintendo's quarterly financial report came out this week, and usually that does come shortly before or around the same time as a direct. Just putting that out there. Switch sales are up to 139.36 million units sold in its lifetime. The Switch Lite saw some growth this quarter, this year, up 9%. Out of that 140 million Switches in lifetime, 13.7 million of them were sold this year. It's down 7%, but I feel like not bad for a seventh year of console.
Higher than they expected.
Seriously. They're still selling like crazy. Software sales are down 4.7%, but digital sales have increased 11.7%. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 60 million sold.
Wow.
It's insane.
That's got to be like a top 10 games sold of all time, right?
I don't know. Do you want me to look it up? I can try.
Yeah, look it
Yeah,
up.
that's a good.
I mean, it's
yeah,
probably in that
so.
ballpark, but I don't know if it's top 10.
Yeah, I know there's stuff like Wii Sports, you know.
That's what I was thinking. Tetris.
Minecraft and Tetris and
GTA, of course.
GTA, of course.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6.
6.
Yep, right behind PUBG. PUBG doesn't even feel like it should be on
What are the top 5? Minecraft?
Right. Tetris, Minecraft,
Tetris is
GTA 5,
Yes,
Wii Sports, PUBG, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And
Wow.
then it passed Skyrim.
Okay. I didn't know Skyrim was that high. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is number 8.
Everything.
It is?
It's 8.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's actually really surprising.
Yeah.
That is.
Wow.
Considering how many people
Jules
hate
asks,
that game.
can it pass the PS2? That's what everybody's talking. I don't think so.
The Switch?
Yeah.
What's the PS2 at?
Cheaply for years. There was like the little slim model. They were selling it for like $100 for like 5 years after the PS3 came out. They were still selling PlayStation 2s, and they still had games coming to them. All the sports games kept coming. Nintendo's not going to do that. I think when Nintendo turns the page, there might be some overlap, a little, but when they turn the page,
if I remember correctly, I think it was Brazil was still selling like PS2s for a long time.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
PS2s and Wii's.
I would love to live in I would love to tell you that Nintendo's going to do that. There's just been no evidence that they're going to. They haven't cut the price of the Switch at all, of any of them. Like they're all still the same like retail price, and I'm like, based on like how they did the 3DS and the Wii U, and like it's just not really in there. Now maybe they're gonna do something completely different, but there's not a lot of
What would
evidence to
happen
think
if
that.
the next Switch that they announce is like still a Switch? Like, you know how we
Still
got
a
the
Switch.
OLED.
It's not a
Yeah.
Switch 2, it's a Switch
Yeah.
Pro or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it would count. It would count.
Yeah. Mario Bros. Wonder is at 12 million units. That's quite a lot for
A quarter.
the quarter that it has been released for.
It did in a quarter what like Spider-Man did. Like,
isn't it like this
Yeah.
this second fastest selling Mario game or something like that? I don't know. I read something like that.
I don't know.
Breath of the Wild's at 31 million. Tears of the Kingdom's at 20 million.
For a Zelda game.
Luigi's Mansion is at 14 million.
That's
the rest
insane.
Yeah,
that's like maybe the one on the list that's not Zelda, Luigi's Mansion. And I'm happy to see it because I've been saying for years, I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is a top 5, top 3 Switch game. It's one of my favorite exclusives in the entire system. But I'm happy to see that it's getting the sales that I think it deserves, and makes me excited to wonder what does that mean for the next Luigi's Mansion. Does Nintendo double down on this one now? Do they see some money there? Can they get a Luigi's Mansion 4 to 20 million or something like so many of these other games?
I think that's why they're putting out the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD on the Switch, because they want to like make more, I guess, long-term fans of the series, that it wasn't just like a one-off for a lot of people. I don't think the 2 HD will sell very well, but I think it'll maybe create some more like long-term fans.
Yeah, just make it more of a thing. It would be nice if they could rotate between Mario and Luigi games. You know, it'd be nice.
Yeah. I was in a fight this week with somebody online about
I thought you meant for real. I was like, oh shit, Rebecca's throwing hands.
As I do
this week over Luigi's Mansion.
As I do. I want to go back and try to find it. You would have thought it was really funny because, and this was just somebody who like has no idea. They were saying about how that Nintendo, it was like a classic Nintendo Dooms kind of thing, where they were saying about how, like, you know, Nintendo is not gonna, they'll be surprised if Nintendo even exists in 15 years because
they need to take that over to the green brand. Like none of that shit here.
What to the what? Oh, to Xbox.
Brand. Take that over. Yeah, you're in the wrong house. This isn't the podcast you're looking for.
Well, because that's I tweeted something like what was it? Hold on, give me a second to find this because it's worth talking about because it's so funny.
While she looking for that, I want to put some in perspective because while you mentioned these sales, the whole Uncharted series has sold a little bit over 41 million.
Yeah,
lifetime. All 4 games.
Yep, all of them combined. Have not outsold Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Exactly. That is insane. That's an insane.
A game that came out 10 years ago on a different system.
Yes, and arguably one of Sony's biggest franchises. One of them has not outsold Mario Kart. All of them have not sold Mario Kart. That's insane to think about.
Mario Kart's probably their biggest game. I said that a bunch coming off the Wii. And then, like, you know, obviously the Wii U was what the Wii U was, but then you see it here. And when they have a system that hits, Mario Kart is huge, right? It was 3DS, Wii, Switch. Like, whenever they get something that works, Mario Kart is the best show in town.
And it's crazy to think about how people were just, a few years back, like, oh, maybe Nintendo needs to go third party. Like, for what? Like, they are killing it. Like, why?
I found it.
Maybe we should be paying Nintendo.
So this all started when I tweeted, does anyone else feel like a AAA game collapse is imminent? This was after the whole thing this week about like...
Oh, yeah. There has been a lot of that. Like, games can't support themselves. And meanwhile, they're making billions of dollars.
So anyway, it was just a tweet. I just tweeted that. And somebody was like, good thing Nintendo knows what they're doing. And I'm like, yeah, this doesn't apply to Nintendo. With like game studios closing down and people losing their jobs and things not returning. And then this person goes, until it does. What if the Switch 2 is a repeat of the Wii U? What will they do? And I said, they'll come back with another winner in a few years because they have decades worth of money to blow. And then they said the way they consistently failed to adapt to the ever faster growing technological trends, I'm not sure they'll be around in 15 years. There's
People have
no
been saying that
second
about
chances
Nintendo
now.
for 40 years.
I know, yes.
That
And then I'm
same
like,
thing
that's an
can be
insane
applied.
opinion.
Yeah.
He goes, the DS sold 150 million units. The Wii sold 100 million units. That makes 250 million. The Switch is at half of that, even with its success, which, okay, he's right. We're at 140 million. That's not 250 million, but I don't think selling 140 million Switches means Nintendo's struggling or suffering.
This is why, and I'm not going to go off on a long sandbox, but this is why the numbers thing can really like sour the well on people's opinions. It's not about the numbers. It's not about downward trend when it's like, yeah, but they've made literally hand over fist more money than they've ever made. Like, and here's the funny thing that people don't realize when they love to throw around the Wii's number. They weren't doing that on the Wii.
No.
The Wii struggled to sell games. They could not push software. It wasn't as big a success as people thought it would. Now, it was really cheap hardware, so they were making money off the hardware very well, but it didn't move software.
Because people bought a Wii and they had Wii Sports and Just Dance, and then they played that for 10
Mario
years.
Kart. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And like third parties couldn't do it. That's why we didn't see a whole lot of third party support. And they even tried to cater to the Wii market, and like they couldn't push games. So it's
anyway. I told him, okay, man, ping me in 15 years, 2039, and if Nintendo isn't around anymore, I'll PayPal you $500.
Wow. What's the chance of Twitter's around by then?
Like non-existent.
Right, correct. Like very minimal.
That's why I felt confident.
It is very fascinating. And I get it. If you're the type of person that looks at things like that, you can make that case. But the evidence to support that case is so overwhelmingly denied by Nintendo's history. I can't imagine people still clinging on to this. People said this about the 3DS in the face of the Vita. They said it about the N64 in face of the...
I was going to say since the N64.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been a constant in their thing over and over and over. They said it about the Switch itself. Remember Oddworld, Super Creator, talking about how terrible the Switch was? Right on launch, he was like, yeah. I mean, it's just... That's such a tired take at this point. Nintendo has outshot those estimates time and time and time again. You got to let it go at some point.
Under 140 million lifetime sales. That doesn't mean they're not going to exist anymore. They have the cash to have 3 failure consoles in a row.
They still have other businesses. They have movies, they've got parks, they've got mobile games. They can always spin off something. You can always do a classic console.
This is a company that's been around since the 1800s, by the way.
Yeah, they have a diverse business. They also don't have the overhead that so many others have. Their game development costs aren't as high as their competition. Their hardware doesn't cost as much to make as their competition.
They have coveted light franchises that people want to license. Like they have Mario, they have Zelda. They will always be around because there's always an interest in Nintendo products. They're like Disney.
Yep.
Like.
Yep. Well said.
So I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Besides the Switch financials, we had some hot off the press rumors this week, also from Nate the Hate, who is, despite the Starfield thing this week, is quite reliable almost all of the time.
Yeah,
I think he's one to believe. He says that he believes that the next Direct will be a partner Direct. He also says that the Switch 2 reveal will occur in March. He says developers are also testing backwards compatibility.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for a Switch reveal in March, so that would be great. I would love for him to be right on this one. It would be nice. I want to see it sooner than later. So I was definitely thinking that we would get a traditional Direct. They would get some other games dated, and they would push off the reveal for later this quarter. So glad to be wrong on that one. Partner Direct. Do you guys have
Partner
anything?
Direct feels interesting if that's coming before a Switch 2 reveal, because will these games be like these will be Switch 1 games?
Yeah, like are they games coming out soon? Or the games coming out later this year? Or are they cross-gen?
Will we get some kind, like, if we see something that's like, why that doesn't look like it's gonna run on the Switch, this is insane, how are they gonna do that? Like, could that be a sign of the Switch 2?
Starfield. Switch Direct, and it's just like a Starfield logo.
Yeah.
That would be the one.
I mean, Hi-Fi Rush is the only thing that really comes to mind. Maybe Silksong. I don't really know what else in the third party case. I mean, I'm not really thinking like indies, like smaller indies, like for a partner showcase, but maybe that's what it'll be. Maybe there'll be a lot of indie games.
I was thinking they might do a direct mini. They haven't done a mini in a while, and I feel like that's like an appropriate thing to have right now, because like they have some updates that they can talk about, and like maybe, you know, a game or two. Those are usually like 10, 12, 15 minutes long. And I feel like that's like an appropriate size for right now ahead of a new console. But I think a partner direct makes sense too.
XPS says if it's coming this year, March is probably about as late as possible to at least be announced.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
When Nate said March, the only thing that came to mind was if they're going into production anytime soon to prepare for a launch, it's going to leak. So, you know,
I want to get ahead on that.
Well. Yeah, you want to get ahead of it, because the moment somebody starts building and snapping these things together, they're going to find out. Mm-hmm. So you got to be out ahead of that, I guess. Yeah.
Anything else on Switch rumors?
No. He did say last night on Xbox Era that folks are testing back and bat. So I don't know how far we could take that. Back and bat confirmed. I mean, I always thought it'd be a huge blunder for them not to do it, which has always led me to think that they would do it because of that reason. You know, I think we have a new president, we have new people running Nintendo, and my impression from what we've seen from them is that they're being extremely conservative. And I just think they don't want to mess things up. And not including backwards compatibility would be the first step to doing that. So that, like,
I think we can assume that backwards compatibility is there.
Yeah.
But what kind of backwards compatibility? Is it you have, if it's cartridge based, or is it only if you digital backwards compatible? I think that's
true.
I expect it'll be both. I'm thinking we're in like a 3DS situation here where you can use your old cart, and I don't know, but we'll find out, right? But I'm expecting it'll just be backwards compatible, and I would imagine that they probably have like some sort of switch mode, you know, that like lowers the clocks or whatever to just like let your old stuff run. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, let me ask you this, Donnie. Do you think people would be mad if it was only like backwards compatible if you have the digital version of a game?
Dude, if there's anything that
I think people will be mad if it's the opposite.
They're going to be mad either way. See, and like this is ultimately what if there's anything that this has taught me is that there are people who just stay mad. People are just mad. Like they're just mad and they're going to be mad. The only thing is there's a huge difference between like backwards compatibility and no backwards compatibility. A no backwards compatible option would be a misstep. Now, it doesn't mean they couldn't overcome it. They could overcome it, but you are giving people a reason not to buy it out of the gate. And I just think that's a mistake. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think this Nintendo leadership wants to do that. Anytime you hear them go on record, what do they keep talking about? How they want to move everybody over to the new one easily. How they want to make opportunities and offers to get people to move to the next system. Like, I think more so than ever coming off the Wii U, they're very cognizant and focused on let's have a smooth landing, a smooth transition to the next thing. And how do you do that? You eliminate any reasons for people to, throw stones out of the box. You know, maybe they can phase out backwards compatibility with future models, but
I was going to say, how long can they do backwards compatibility for? Like, what happens when they do the Switch 3? Will that play Switch games? No.
We won't know until I don't even know how they're going to do it, right? It's a whole new processor. So I'm interested in Digital Foundry tearing one apart and seeing if there's like a Switch processor in there that does it, or if they've emulated it somehow. Like I'm interested in seeing how they figure it out. But
yeah,
I would be shocked if they were like, yeah, it's a complete clean slate breakaway. I think that'd be a huge mistake.
me too.
Yeah,
I agree.
And on the flip side of, Delvin talking about if it's just digital games, I hope it's not just physical. Like I would hope that it's both, because I think a lot of people now have both a physical and a digital library of games, and
sure.
I think it would be really sad if just one of them.
Well, if it was going to be one or the other, it would be digital, because the majority of people are buying their stuff digitally.
Nintendo's never done that though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could transfer your stuff from the Wii to the Wii U.
It costs money to do that.
That's true. I do think it could be. It also could be that a developer has to support it, right? So they may have to like enable it. So maybe like if your game is on Switch 2, it's backwards compatible, but maybe a lot of games just won't be there. Maybe that's like how they'll get around it. I don't know. I'm interested. Like, again, this is why we're all like waiting on edge to see it, because we want to know. And I don't know if the reveal is going to give us the answers to any of that. I think the reveal is going to be like, here's what it looks like, and it plays this thing, and we'll talk to you later. Like we'll figure it out some other time in the future.
I was thinking an event.
Oh wow! So okay, I'm thinking we see a commercial.
I was thinking an event
on what
too.
the next Switch is.
Commercial makes more sense, I think. Yeah.
I think with like a reveal, we get a commercial of here's a trailer of the next system, and
like how the Switch was revealed.
We'll let you know about it this summer, or something like that.
I would hate that, because then people got to speculate about how just
I'm
based on how it looks.
Bracing exactly for that.
Oh
very
my
thing.
God,
that's the path. That's
exactly
going to
be worse than what the discourse is right now.
I don't think so. I think we're all going to be ecstatic to see it and talk about it. At least I am, but that's my impression. A reveal event in March would be awesome. I mean, I would love a deep dive, but I don't think that's going to happen.
How would Nate know about a commercial?
I don't know. How does Nate know about anything he knows? I don't know.
How would he know about one?
Yeah, if he talks to somebody in the marketing department.
Yeah. They have to.
Because Nintendo's marketing is Golan Harris, right? It's not internal. They use a PR firm for all that.
Whatever. No, because I hate that idea, because if they show
I'm so sorry,
if they show a commercial and then people are like, it'll do this, that, it'll have this XYZ specs, and then it's worse than that, like it's 100%. Not as good as people are gonna say, that's horrible. And I
you think, but will they? Probably
nope. No, not even a little.
I don't know.
Oh, whatever.
I'm so sorry, Rebecca.
What's Valiant Hearts?
Oh no, you don't know what Valiant Art is?
No.
It's a very good game.
Valiant Art was one of the last UbiArt games that came to Wii U. They did port the game over to Switch. There's Valiant Hearts on Switch, but a year or two ago, they made a sequel to Valiant Hearts that was only on Netflix. You can only play it with your Netflix account on your phone. And that sequel, Valiant Hearts Coming Home, is coming to Switch. It was just rated for all consoles. So you're going to get that sequel. You're going to be able to play it on Switch. For anybody that's never played Valiant Hearts, I wholly recommend it, especially if you're into like story games. It's a great story. It's a great experience. And you can usually get them when there's like Ubi sales. You can get them on sale for like $2 or $3. They're not expensive at all.
Cool.
I think you'd love it. It's got a little dog.
Oh, I'll check it out.
They're good. Yeah, you like the UbiArt games, right? Like Child of Light and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do.
This is the same stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we get into the questions, I want to go back to your tweet. Do you really think the gaming industry is in disarray? I've seen a lot of that, and I would love to just talk through it, because I've also brought a lot of the PSVG, and I just don't think there's any case for that.
I don't think there will be like one singular big collapse, but I do think we're already seeing problems, I think, with like AAA games taking 6-7 years to make with huge budgets, and like they have to perform or else the studio is going to go under, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're seeing studios close, fewer choices in major AAA franchises to choose from. It's a lot of sequels of the same games and not new innovation. And I think that's going to be a problem as it happens more and more.
Has this been any different than it has been in the last 15 years?
I think over the past 15 years, it has gotten worse.
I definitely
I think it's been a problem for the past 5 years at least, and it's getting worse.
Mostly recall that this is everything you just said is the same things are being said 2010, 2012, 2015. And I'm not necessarily
I don't remember saying it back then.
I'm not necessarily saying that you're wrong, but I would like to just offer a different take. The sustainability in terms of everybody stays in the same job and makes new games and it all makes money and stuff. I think you're right. It's not, that's not the way the business works. I don't know how to fix that. I don't think there's a whole lot of interest to fix it. That's my ultimate take, is that the companies that make these things, they seem to enjoy doing it this way. The folks that make these games don't seem to have much power to change it or want to. But I could go back as far as the early aughts, right? 2004, 2006, 2008. Even way back then, there were mass layoffs for games and studios in between projects. I actually think it used to be a lot worse, because you would scale it for a game. They would spend 2, 3, 4 years to make it. And then once that game shipped, they would go down to a skeleton shift. All kinds of people get laid off and get put out into the market. And then when you would pre-pro, and then as you got ready to make your next game, you would scale back up. And I think what happened, a lot of people would get really angry about that. And I think what happened is you saw a shift in the industry where a lot of studios would keep a smaller amount of people internally, and then they would rely on support studios, secondary studios, to help them as they scale up. You would contract that work out, and then when you shipped your game, the contract would end. So you weren't necessarily laying people off, right? You were just kind of, that's the end of the contract
work.
Yeah. I do think you make a really good point. I do think the state of the industry is mostly
thousands too, and I think that we saw the same thing where there wasn't a lot of innovation. Like, it was a lot of the same types of things. It was the same very few franchises, and there wasn't really a whole lot of room for
and a lot of sequels, and they would just turn one after the other until the franchise would collapse.
And luckily, I think the thing that was able to prevent a bigger type of industry disruption back then was because there were possibilities for the game. There was potential for games to look better, run better. There were more technological, I feel like that possibility is a lot smaller now.
You're 100%. You're right. Yeah.
And I feel like it's a bigger problem right now. If it takes 6 or 7 years to make a really good, realistic, graphically powerful, strong game, that's a big problem.
Yeah. That's what Sean Layden was talking about 5-6 years ago. He used to be the head of Sony, and he was talking about with that PlayStation. I think ultimately, I got 2 points. Just before I say my ultimate point, just to that point, they don't have to do that. Nintendo is a shining example. They're like, y'all can do that all you want. We're not doing that. And I think that's really, really helped Nintendo, because their games, they don't have that cost that everybody else is. They're not shouldering that load.
Which is why I said this doesn't apply to Nintendo, because I do think that these studios, and they'll be better for it, will be forced to scale back a little bit.
I agree with you. As they fail, they will either scale, they'll either scale back, or they will go the opposite way. But ultimately, when I see people saying these sorts of things, and I understand when there are layoffs, big layoffs, people feel bad, and they feel like things are collapsing. Ultimately, the last 30 years, gaming year over year has made more and more and more money than they ever have before.
Yeah.
And even coming off of the COVID boom, even with these layoffs, profits are still up. They're not up as much as they were forecasted to be, but they're still up year over year. So the layoffs happened because at the corporate level, they were expecting margins at 6 to 8%, and they're really coming in at 3, 4, 5%. So the layoffs are to protect the margins, but they're still making. It's still a very healthy, as a business, as an industry, not as I care about the QA person that got laid off, but as a business at a macro level, it's making so much money.
To be clear, when I said industry AAA game collapse, I don't mean the company, I don't mean like the AAA company financial, like economic collapse. Like, I don't think Microsoft's Xbox Studio is not going to go under. I don't think Sony Gaming is going to go under. Like, that's obviously not going to happen. But I think it's a big problem that these smaller studios are folding. And I think that, it's a problem that talented people who are making the games are being laid off, and I think it's a problem that there's fewer choice with long wait times between AAAs, and I think it's bad for the people making the games, but I think this will cause more of like a indie boom, which is a good thing. But I think we're going to see, when I say collapse, I think we're going to see some major changes in the gaming landscape in the next 5 years.
Good. I was just going to say that. I think we're kind of seeing that now. There's a lot of these indie type, not quite AAA games, but AA games that come out that are really good that people are kind of leaning towards, like Lords of the Fallen, Remnant 2, Lives of P, like Banishers. There's a lot of like smaller studios making these cool games that look
Stray
and feel AAA. Stray, towards the game, because they're making sequels to these games, so I'm assuming these games don't cost as much to make, and they're making enough profit to continue making these games. So I think it's really cool that we're getting that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the lifeblood of the gaming industry right now, especially scalable games like what we think of as indie or smaller. They're scalable games. They're games that can run on all platforms, get the mobile market, the console market, PC market. My only, and it's not even a counterpoint really, just a little side note to what you're saying. Venture capital has decreased, and as companies start to pull back to protect their margins, there'll be less capital to flow around. And during COVID, for like the last 5 years, I think we saw a lot of money get pushed into that space. There were a lot of people that were buying, either starting or funding little studios, or buying good stakes at those studios. Tencent owned 10% of everything, and Sony was floating a lot of folks. Nintendo took out a lot of projects with indie folks, helped fund them, make exclusives, second party contracts, things like that, based on interest rates and how more expensive it is to borrow money now than it was. I would expect some of that to dry up, not all of it, but some of it. I think the direction for that is maybe a little less than what we've been used to the last few years. And I think it might lead to, it's actually one of the things, I think that might be a part of the gaming industry that I'm more concerned about, because before 5 years ago, if you got laid off, if you had a good track record or good resume, there was a good chance that you could get somebody to give you millions of dollars to make a game. Like, there was a good business there. And I'm wondering if that space might be drying up, and those people might be forced to take jobs at a studio or at a developer or at a publisher.
That's a good point.
They can't get that venture capital that we could get before. Especially as more and more studios close, and support studios either close or get bought. Either close or get bought out, because these bigger,
which is often one and the same.
Yeah,
exactly. So but I do think, I bring some of this to PSVG a lot, and not just because I want to be the actually guy, but I like to back up my thoughts and feelings with numbers if I can, to see if there's any support or evidence of that. I listened to a podcast where after the layoffs, and they were like, this whole industry is about to collapse, nobody can keep doing this. And it's like, it really couldn't be further from the truth. Layoffs sucks. I get it. It's never right, and it's never good to hear about it, especially a $1 trillion company. But as I brought up to PSVG, if you dig into it, unemployment in the sector is also at an all-time low. So a lot of those people are getting laid off or getting rehired. They're just getting rehired in other places or other.
Well, projects. That is good. That's really good.
Yeah. And it's just like, we never seem to. It is a slight bother to me, is that I don't ever feel like any of our news in the space, like our journalism, they don't ever seem to want to ever dig in that far. They kind of just stop at the, let's be outraged, let's be angry. And I get it. The people want to feel things, and they want to point that anger at somewhere. But it's like, I do kind of wish they would tell the whole story sometimes.
Yeah. I think we are in agreement, though, about what I meant by that tweet, the collapse thing. Yeah.
I think it's a good conversation. That's the only reason I wanted to double back to it. Plus, We're at 54 minutes. We had time to kill.
Well, hit us with some questions then.
Let's do it. This week I asked for questions. I also asked for your favorite controller because I want to make you a part of the show, not just with the question you asked, but let you chime in as well. Chip Biscuit, just an incredible.
You gotta say it right. Chip Biscuit.
Chip Biscuit. Chip Biscuit right here. Question for the show: if any of you can create an RPG with a party made up of any 4 playable RPG characters throughout video games, what would your party of 4 look like? Can include Pokemon.
Frog from Chrono Trigger.
RPG characters?
I don't know 4. I'm out of it. Just Fire Emblem girls. Just 4 Fire Emblem waifus.
Okay, look, Cubone.
Cubone, Alear, Carmella,
Frog from Chrono
Corrin.
Trigger.
Alear, Carmella, Corrin.
Donnie.
And Cubone.
There you go.
I did it, guys. That's a game that you can only.
Why
get
am
on
I
Steam.
like? I'm blanking on good RPG characters here. My God.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's a Steam only game.
That's one of those games. Help! I got stuck in the microwave.
Right.
I can't with you two. Hold on. I'm doing some Googling. Because I only know that I want Frog. I don't know. That's my pick.
Okay.
Just Frog.
Just Frog. I feel like there's like a strategy here. Like you want someone that is like
there was a strategy
good at
to my pick.
magic. Good. Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. Next
Definitely
question.
put
Next
strategy.
question.
What's your party, Delvin?
Commander Shepard.
All right.
I'm gonna
I was
cheat
thinking turn-based.
Mario
That counts.
because he's
Mario RPG.
He's RPG.
Counts.
Yeah.
Counts.
God.
Facts.
Let's see who else. Tifa.
Tactics.
And... This sounds. That's a wild porn. Commander Shepard, Tifa, and Mario.
Wow.
That is horrible.
Chimp Biscuit, I am so mad at you for asking this question.
Chimp Biscuit said his favorite controller is the PlayStation DualSense. Essentially, just really likes the way it fits in his hands. So
It's a good choice.
Yeah. Smokin' Joe says, question for the show: if Zelda had a Mario Party style game, what would be a fun mini game?
Shooting at like archery, the archery target thing on Epona.
Link's
For the one in
crossbow
Ocarina
training.
of Time.
Yeah, they have that.
Yep.
No one played it.
I would love a Zelda party.
Who
Like a
could
Zelda
smash
Mario
the
Party.
most number of pots in under a minute?
Grass
Oh
cutting.
yeah. Glad you clarified that really quick.
Who could smash them up?
Who can smash? Whoa!
Dang, Delvin.
Sure.
We remember we covered it. Yeah, Zelda mini games would be fun. There's a lot of Zelda mini games. If they collected them all
Yeah.
from all the different games, just put them in a little mini game collection, that'd be dope.
That would
It's
be
a
cool.
great idea.
Yeah.
Korok throwing.
Yeah.
Just throw them fuckers right
Throw
to
it off
lava.
a cliff.
Like, what could you build a rocket to launch them the furthest? Like, who could launch the Korok
Yes.
the most? That's good.
Yeah.
Smokin' Joe says his favorite controller is the Hori Split Pad Compact. Man after my own heart. Those are great. Gamer Guy Lou, if you could pick one Nintendo character to be your Valentine.
Y'all with
Go.
these questions. I am going to start leaving for the questions.
Who would it be, and what do you think they
Absolutely
would
not.
give you for the occasion?
Oh my God.
Whoa! Just leave it at that.
Those aren't
Me and
Nintendo
my-
characters.
Me
You
and
didn't
my
name one Nintendo character.
Fire Emblem characters count. What do you mean? How are they? Are they not Nintendo characters? What weird line are we drawing?
I feel like that's like a second party like franchise.
What? No,
Wow.
absolutely not.
It's not developed by Nintendo.
This injustice will not stand, man. It's their franchise. They published every one of them.
They've published them, but they didn't develop them.
Okay. All right. So I actually want to draw out this.
We have had this conversation before. Okay. Garrett agrees with me.
So Kirby isn't a Nintendo character. Because Nintendo's itself, as it developed it, HAL did. Is that what you're doing? No, and Samus isn't because because Retro does Metroid Prime, not actual Nintendo. If Miyamoto doesn't touch it, it's not a Nintendo character.
That's not what I meant, but let's move on.
I got Chad on my side on this one.
Exclusive games. So is Bayonetta a Nintendo character?
I didn't say exclusive. No.
I'm asking what the line is.
The line is if they're funding the development of it.
Yes.
And at this point, yeah, I do think you could say Bayonetta is a Nintendo character at this point.
Okay.
But Fire Emblem is every bit as a character as any other character is.
Okay.
It's every bit a Nintendo character as Kirby is. They are the same thing. There's no difference. Intelligent Systems and HAL make nothing but exclusive Nintendo games for Nintendo.
Okay.
Right? Just like Luigi's Mansion. They weren't first party, second party. I think they did get bought, I think, right? A couple years ago.
Luigi is a Nintendo character.
Right. So what's the difference between
I don't know.
I'm trying to get where you're drawing the line.
No, I'm wrong. Move on.
Okay. Rebecca, who's your Valentine?
Zelda.
Nice. What is Zelda getting you for Valentine's Day?
A kiss.
Wow.
Whoa. Get right into it.
Steamy, huh?
Yeah.
Rebecca's like, get me out of this podcast.
Yeah.
Delvin, who's your Valentine?
So many.
Is it better than my Menage of Fire Emblem?
I don't know.
I mean, Fire Emblem Menagerie is pretty nice.
From Tears of the Kingdom, maybe?
Pura?
Yeah. It's kind of hot.
That's a good one.
Not kind of.
100 years old.
Not kind of. Hey, it's some experience. Okay. G-Man, what third-party, air quote, game would you like to see if the next Direct is true? Partner Direct, third-party game. What's the third-party game you want coming to Switch?
I have a fun one. I don't think it's going to run, but let's go for it. Cyberpunk.
Whoa.
Cyberpunk on Switch. Switch 2. You heard it here first.
There you go.
We're allowed to consider for the Switch 2?
No, I mean, you can consider anything, I guess.
I guess they can do Cyberpunk streaming to make it work on the Switch.
Yeah, facts.
I don't know.
I really don't
either.
Didn't
we answer this question before?
I wanted to say, I can't remember. There's that like kind of Sega 3D platform game that I'm really excited about, but it's in my Steam library and I want to look it up. The Shadows of the Damned remaster.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I would love to see that pop up. Hey, here's the Shadows of the Damned remaster.
Right now that I really feel like a huge need to play that isn't on the Switch.
And there's a couple third parties that I'm keeping an eye on Switch. The Blade Chimera game, Plucky Squire, Necrodancer, Metal Slug Tactics, Top Racer. But these are all much like I'm not thinking third party like Ubisoft, EA, Take-Two. I'm not thinking anything like that until the next Switch comes out. I have nothing on my mind for those at the moment.
Final Fantasy
that might be a mistake.
7 remake.
Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe they'll have here's Square Enix with 8 more games. Who knows?
Yeah. That is my answer.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 7 remake. It's a good one.
Gamer Guy Lou says his favorite controller is a GameCube controller, even though I never use the little C stick for anything. Do they Smash or nothing?
A lot of people love the GameCube controller.
I love the GameCube controller. G-Man. Hang on. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry, I read the wrong controller. G-Man said, if it's Valentine's Day and you get to choose any video game character you want to go out with, who is that and why?
Didn't we just answer that?
Did we?
No. We
It
only
was a
answered
different
it for
question.
Nintendo character.
It
was for Nintendo character.
I got confused because they were like the same question, but slightly different. I was like, I think they're different. Yeah.
The chick
Zelda.
She's answered the same question. Did you say the chick from Stellar Blade? Eve?
Yes.
I'm with them.
Wait, no, I changed my answer. Rachel Amber.
It's also the chick from Stellar Blade.
Good answer.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. That works. Kyle the Pug. Would you ever want to see a Star Fox Starfield collab on the next Nintendo console?
I want to see a goddamn Star Fox game. I want to see a good Star Fox game. Let's start there first.
Yeah, I don't want Star Fox and Starfield. Isn't that like one of the worst parts about Starfield, driving the ship?
He asked this question because of my parody Nintendo Direct.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I would like to see Star Fox come back. Yeah. I don't know how, but just bring Starfield back. Ubisoft nailed it. They should have just Starlink. Just give them Star Fox and make Starlink game. Do that. Do the whole game like that. Just nothing but Star Fox. I don't know why they didn't follow that up. Starlink must have really performed terribly.
It had to.
Because the premise is there. Like when you played the start, you're like, yeah, this is the Star Fox game. Make this. And then they just never did.
The game is solid. The game is solid.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good game.
Starlink. Yep.
But every time I play them, I'm like, I'm not playing with these scrubs. Give me Fox McCloud.
Same.
Time.
Yeah. Just do the whole thing, but make it Star Fox.
Yeah.
But I guess
get
they're
these
not
other
interested.
motherfuckers out of here.
He says his favorite controller is the Lightning Blue N64 controller.
Mm.
Is that mine? I'm not sure if it's the Lightning Blue. I have the Ice Blue, like the see-through Ice Blue N64.
I think that's the same.
Okay. I was like, is Lightning Blue, is that like the solid blue one? Like just the plain blue one? But mine are more like turquoise, but I love mine too.
Okay.
TPR says, as we're approaching Switch 2, to what heights do you think Switch 1 homebrew can go? I think we could get the entire Wii and Wii U library playable with Joy-Cons and tablet mode. I think the Switch be the premier Nintendo console to homebrew. The only downside is no dual screen for DS and 3DS, but I think the screen is wide enough to do a vertical split. What are your thoughts?
TPR. You see who's on this show? Donnie, Rebecca, me. Garrett's not here.
I've homebrewed my 3DS.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I hacked my Switch.
There you go. Yeah, see?
There you go. Yeah,
Delvin, you're alone.
I'm not doing that.
This is just you.
I'm not doing that. I will give it to the smarter people. Hey, go do this.
My only thing about my hacked Switch is that I got banned from going online, and so it's kind of a brick now.
And it feels like that's been more of the Switch's MO. Like they've been really strong about like trying to block that. You have the Switch cart that people are doing with the Switch cart? You can
people are doing that.
Yeah, people are doing that. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of interest in modding my Switch.
I don't either. That's what the Steam Deck's for, and the Rogue Ally.
All I did was the only reason why I did it was because I wanted Animal Crossing mods, and then I just got tired of updating it all the time. So
makes sense.
I don't really use it.
TPR's favorite controller is the DualSense or the Switch Pro. The Pro controller's battery life is unreal, but I do like the special triggers and haptics of the DualSense. I'm not a fan of the triggers. The haptics are cool. Are okay, but I don't like the triggers. Always makes me feel like I'm gonna break them.
It does feel like it's like something's off on it. Like, oh,
I feel like there's something plastic in there that I'm about to smash. You know, I don't like that. I didn't write down a damn name for this one. God, must have been where I was just like trying to copy and paste. So I'm gonna read the question forgive me for not having your name. I worked all day yesterday, so I was trying to like throw questions in right before we started. If Switch 2 is fully backwards compatible, would you ever ditch your Switch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would too.
What would? Yeah. I mean, ditch it. I don't know. Yeah, like what? Why would I?
I would
need
pass
to.
mine down. I would pass mine down
Yeah.
to my nieces and nephews.
I'd probably give it
Not
to my
my-
dad because he has the regular Switch, not the OLED.
Not my No More Heroes Switch. That's a shelf item, so I retired that one. But my OLED that Jack plays on, I would probably just pass that down to the nieces and nephews. But I was thinking about this. I could have said the exact same thing about the Wii U, and hell if I don't have a Wii U sitting over there. So I don't know. Like the Switch has almost every Wii U game, but I keep the Wii U around because some games you just can't do. Can't play Nintendo Land on Switch.
Yeah, it would really depend.
Yeah, but like if there's a Switch 2 that is just fully backwards compatible with Switch 1, yeah, I probably would just move it along. Yeah. Jay, what's a game you
didn't say their favorite console?
Their favorite controller is the stock Xbox controller. It's the most comfortable controller I've ever used, and those LR triggers are buttery smooth, even though I bought the 8-bit Do dongle to use on Switch. I think if I had to pick, I'd prefer the Xbox pad. Here's the thing. I can play with most anything. I have a preference, but like I'm not that enamored with a one controller so much that I would never use another controller. I've played games on the DualSense, on the DualShock, on the 8-bit Do, on the Pro controller, on Wiimotes, on Joy-Cons. Like ultimately, I'm down to play.
I do not like split Joy-Cons. I do not like playing like that.
Like in each hand, not tied together.
Yeah. I can't do that.
It's funny you said that. The other day I was kind of feeling nostalgic and I booted up Pokemon Let's Go for like an hour. I played Let's Go Pikachu and Sit Jack a thing, and I forgot that when you have it docked, you have to like have a Joy-Con. You can't play with a Pro controller.
Yeah.
You gotta like do the stupid throwing motion.
That was that game's biggest downfall, in my opinion.
And you can play it just regularly in handheld. You just can't play it on the TV. It's like, God, I forgot about this. But I did enjoy it. I did enjoy playing the game.
I remember being so mad that the first mainline console Pokemon game, I barely even played it on the TV because of that.
And it's a really pretty game.
Yeah.
Especially, I like what they did with it compared to the Pokemon games that would come, especially the remakes.
Yeah.
Jay says, what's a game you don't own, but you would buy immediately if you saw it for $20? It's really hard to beat the Switch Pro controller. Does everything you'd want a controller to do, and the battery never dies.
A game I don't own, but would buy immediately for $20.
Prince of Persia is the one right now.
That was Sonic Superstars for me. It came in the mail and I played it, and is it kind of mid. So like I was like, well, but I did get it for $20, so I don't feel too bad.
I don't know.
I've been wanting Samurai Warriors 5 on Switch for some time, but the price just hasn't come down. I've been waiting on the game to come down for like what feels like 3 or 4 years. I think Garrett was here when that game released. I'm still like, not yet. Every time it goes on sale, I'm like, not yet. Just keep waiting. That must have been Super Meta Boy's question. He says, thanks for answering my question. Awesome. Thanks for okay. Gamer checks. Why are they letting all the Dragon Quest games come out with little to no marketing, aka Dragon Quest Treasures and Dragon Quest Monsters, the Dark Prince?
Because I think they're probably marketed a lot more in Japan, which is the main target audience.
That's a good answer. Was it Square that recently said that they're going to like start focusing on like more blockbuster titles and stop making so many games? Wasn't like their financial thing? And when I heard them say that, I immediately thought of Dragon Quest Monsters. I was like, yeah, they're not going to do that stuff no more. Like all these little ancillary RPGs they keep making, I think they're about to dry up and just kind of double down on Final Fantasy and bigger return games. But I don't know. Yeah, no.
Well, I guess that's the game I'll be getting for $20 then.
Gamer Check says his favorite controller is the PlayStation 5 controller. The perfect controller was the PS4, and they made it feel more expensive. Well, it is more expensive. Yeah. I mean, nailed that.
Your favorite controller is the PS5 controller?
A lot of people said that.
Yeah, we had like 4 of those answers.
A lot of people said that.
I know. I'm surprised that there's that many people that enjoy a controller that has an hour battery life.
It wasn't me.
Hour, it's fire.
It wasn't me, guys. It wasn't me. Get him, Rebecca.
It's a great
Get
hour.
Better taste, all of y'all.
Hour. Get him, Rebecca.
That controller ain't even good. It's not even good.
I say this on PSVG, and Delvin eats me alive for an hour about how I'm not that into the DualSense. I'm not.
Whoa.
If you're going to be paying $80 for a controller, it needs to last longer than an hour.
I don't want Xbox. It seems like Xbox is going to copy it, and I don't want them to copy it. Like, leave me alone. I like my controller the way it is.
They have to
also, what's that stupid thing in the middle that's the touchpad on it? That's stupid. I hate it.
Just like the Steam Deck. I hate it too.
No, that's a good one.
Nope. It's all bad. All the touchpads. I turned all the haptics off on all my stuff. I don't like those either. And I don't like those triggers. I am not.
The haptics are not worth the battery life being bad.
I agree. I like
it.
I'm not trying when I'm pulling the bow and arrow. I'm not trying to break my finger. It hurts. I'm not trying to do muscle workouts. I'm not trying it's a controller. I'm not trying to have a realistic experience in my hand. I don't need that. I don't want it. It's annoying. I have to struggle. I'm not trying to struggle.
You remember Nintendo was like,
feel the marbles.
How many ice cubes are in the cup?
Shut up.
And then PlayStation does it, and everybody's like, "This is next gen. This is amazing." It's really not.
Arthritis.
All I want is a good D-pad.
That's it.
My hand hurts from pushing a button.
I love the 8-bit Pro controller. It's the best. It's got a great D-pad. I love the Switch Pro controller too. I wish it was a little more solid. I think the Switch Pro controller is just a little too hollow for my liking. I like it to have a little weight.
I agree.
It's a good controller. It is a good controller. Most notably, the battery life that just never dies.
Yes.
I charged that thing once like 8 years ago. Like, it's still going. The Wii U was like that. I swear I charged my Wii U controller like once
a year. It lasted 70 hours, 80 hours.
It lasted forever.
That's insane.
Yep.
So, next question. Math Man, yay or nay? Microsoft already knows when the next Direct will be held, which is why they scheduled their own announcement this week. The Direct will follow shortly thereafter, and everyone will forget Microsoft said anything. That's a hell of a take. That's awesome. That'd be hilarious. Could you imagine? They're like, let's just put it right before that thing. Yeah, that's smart.
They know because they're part of the Direct.
I've seen that.
Show their games.
Gears of War. It's your partner showcase. Here comes Starfield and Indiana Jones on Switch. That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think everybody keeps saying Hi-Fi Rush. I guess it would make sense if it's in a partner Direct. But I don't know. He says the best controller is the Wavebird.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Carter, what's your most anticipated Nintendo game for 2024?
I don't know, man. I'm just vibing.
Part of me really deep down wants to say Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
That's disgusting. That's weird and
Play
disgusting.
the demo. It's good.
Say it with your chest, homie. Don't be afraid. Don't let her scare you.
But I can't, because it's not Thousand Year Door. It's probably Thousand Year Door at the moment. It's probably Thousand Year Door, and then Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a strong 2.
My 2 most anticipated games that are probably coming out this year are the Plucky Squire and Little Kitty Big City.
Well, I didn't say this because he said Nintendo game.
Oh,
he did say Nintendo game.
Oh, Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door.
Yeah. Because mine too would be Plucky Squire. I think if I was to pick anything, I think
I just thought he meant on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Top Racer. But yeah, 1,000 Year Door. 1,000 Year Johnson. I've wanted a 1,000 Year Door remaster or port for ever. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I'll go 1,000 Year Door too.
Nice. Did you play the demo for Mario vs. Donkey Kong?
I did not yet.
Did you know there was a demo?
Yes, it is. You mentioned it to me multiple times.
I really liked it. Seriously, it's really good. Everybody should play it, including you, Rebecca.
I don't. I have no interest.
That this looks like you just curl up on the couch and vibe with Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
What?
Yeah. They did during the Super Bowl.
It looks not good for me.
It looks so good on the screen.
Not for me, but not for me.
It's beautiful.
It looks puzzly.
It is puzzly
and platformy.
Sure.
Why would I like that? That's horrible.
Super Meta Boy says Zelda remasters. We don't have announcements on those, so can't count those. Wind Waker would be number one for me if they announced it.
Same.
Yes.
Okay. Bonus question with the gold and silver Pokemon rumors. I have no idea what he's talking about. Are there Pokemon rumors?
No.
I saw this come in and I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. Apparently there's rumors. There's rumors of gold and silver.
That's how you start the rumors.
Let's go, Johto.
What Pokemon game would you love to see get a remake?
Gold and silver. Yeah. Crystal. I want Crystal.
We're running out of them at this point.
Crystal. Yeah. We already got gold and silver remakes.
I thought it was black and white. I thought that's what we talked about last week. That's the next one or something.
It's all everything.
I want Super Ultra Sun and Moon. We had
Sun
and Moon, then we had Ultra Sun and Moon. Now I want Super Ultra Sun and Moon.
No.
They need to remake the last goddamn game they made.
Ultra Scarlet. I mean, they did that. 3DS. That was wild. We got Sun and Moon, and then we got Ultra Sun and Moon. That's what we need. We need Ultra Scarlet and Violet.
Ultra Scarlet. It works now. Come back.
Ultra Arceus. New Ultra Arceus.
I just remake that shit.
That's hilarious. we need new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet remastered, remade. just remade.
We do.
Redo. Yeah. We tried. Take two. Sorry, guys. And our last one comes from Ernesto. Would you ever want to see the next Nintendo concert? Would ever want to see next? I'm not sure if he's asking, do we want to see the next Nintendo concert, or what do we want to see for the next Nintendo concert?
Usher.
Oh my God. Usher. Comes out dressed like Kirby. Oh my God.
Just performing Nintendo songs.
See Yoshi hitting the step.
I would go to another Zelda Symphony of the Goddess because I went to one and it was really good and I liked it a lot.
Went to Zelda. Yep.
Also, I am going to Stardew Valley orchestrated concert this month, and I'm very excited about it.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I went to the Zelda concert. Took Jack. It was a lot of fun. I don't think I would go to. It's not that there are lots of franchises that have incredible music, and I just don't think I would go to any of them. To an actual orchestra.
I don't think I would either. Yeah,
y'all are uncultured.
I mean, there's something different. Like Zelda hits different in that space that like Mario and Splatoon and Donkey Kong doesn't.
Okay.
Nah. I need lyrics. Can't just be sitting there. About it all day. Fuck that, son. Now, son.
It also feels like when I went, like Street Pass was a big deal. Like there's no Street Pass now, so it's like, that also kind of limits the appeal to me a little bit.
That's true. They should bring that back for the Switch too.
I would hope so.
Give you reason to carry it around everywhere you go.
It's crazy that there's like, they could make the Switch 2 like literally just a Switch, and with a few small enhancements, they could do like what? They could do like themes. They could do folders. They could do Street Pass. Like maybe this one has Netflix on it, and like all of a sudden it's like a brand new next gen experience because the Switch has none of that shit on it.
That is wild.
They're like, we've got Netflix and we've got folders and we've got you can buy Mario themes now and we have Street Passers Return.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and it's just like Switch 2. It's a whole new generation of Switch because that's where we still are in the Switch life cycle. That doesn't have any of those things.
That's the thing, though. I could legitimately see that being real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that. Like on the app space, we just have Hulu and YouTube.
Yeah.
They didn't have a Twitch. Like imagine if they rolled out and they're like, we have a Twitch app and you can stream your games to Twitch from the Switch now. That would be like people would be like, oh my god, it's the Nintendo can, like we've been doing that on PlayStation for a decade. But Nintendo could just do that and like that would be considered, new stuff.
There's also Crunchyroll.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got missed Crunchyroll. Yeah, but they just have like
going away. Crunchyroll?
I thought it was the other one. But maybe you're right. Was it Funimation?
It's Crunchyroll.
That one's going away.
Oh, going away? I don't know. Maybe it was
two of them, and they're shuttering one of them.
Oh,
yes.
Well, okay.
And not only are they shuttering it, if you bought some stuff on the one you're shuttering, that stuff's gone. Like you just don't have it anymore.
And they're like, fuck off.
That's bad. That's the digital future.
It is. Yep. That's where we're going. Funimation is dead. It's going away. That's it.
I guess it's not the digital. It's the digital reality. Not even the future.
You better do crimes. Start backing up your stuff now. Buy those things you like while you still can, because we talk about with games and stuff. The next one is physical media. Just generally, physical media is gonna cease. So, yeah, it's unfortunate but true. And Ernesto's favorite controller to end the show is a GameCube controller, because this is great, because it controlled pretty well.
It did. Why are you laughing? He's right.
It's the way that I read it. I liked the GameCube controller because it controlled pretty well.
Yeah.
It's just, it's kind of
it did its job.
You're right.
It clocked in, it clocked out. Nothing more.
I love the GameCube controller. I've always loved the GameCube.
Think about Wind Waker.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you. I love the GameCube controller. I always have. I'd totally be down for that to be like the pro controller.
Are we allowed to share our favorite controllers?
Absolutely not.
Okay, bye.
What is your favorite controller?
I'm so glad you asked, Donnie. So it's depending on what game it is, it's a tie between the Switch Pro controller and the Super Nintendo controller. If it's something that needs a stick, I will use the Switch Pro controller. If it's something that is primarily used with a D-pad, I will use the Super Nintendo controller.
You should get the 8BitDo Super Nintendo Pro controller.
I have the 8BitDo regular Super Nintendo controller.
Because they make the Pro controller with the sticks.
I know.
So you get the best of both worlds.
I know, but I like this guy.
I do.
He's cool. Nice I have like 5 of them, actually.
As long as you don't have those NES Joy-Cons, we're good. I still can't believe we live in a world.
Oh, I have one. I have one of those.
It blows my mind.
I think I have two of
them.
That
is up there with them rubber banding Wiimotes to Pro controllers in the Wii U. No.
I have an insane
NES controller. The NES Joy-Cons.
Oh no, I don't have that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Look at how many Super Nintendo controllers I have, guys. Hold on, I have more. They're somewhere else. I have so many. I need them all.
Those are great. But the NES Joy-Cons, I can't believe we still live in a world where they tried to strap NES Joy-Cons to both sides of the Switch and they thought anybody would play with that.
Yeah.
What a wild idea. What's your favorite controller, Delvin?
The Atari 2600.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Just the stupid stick with the one button. You can barely move.
Okay, you know what controller that I am pleased that nobody said?
Which one?
My least favorite controller, which is the Wii Remote. Fuck that controller.
Oh, Wii Remote.
No, that is the worst controller. I hate it. It's
How
bad.
dare you? Why is it the
awful.
worst controller?
Number one,
That
it's
is not even close to being true.
Ah! Don't even get me started.
Atari
I will
2600
bitch
is
about the
100% the worst
Wii
controller.
remote forever.
Why?
Because I don't like it. You have to set up the stupid. Okay, hold on. Can I just say something? Everyone, shut up.
Hold on. Let me say something.
To play with this controller, you have to set up the sensor bar. It has to be the right distance. It has to be placed right. You can't be fucking thing in front of it. You have to make sure you have to scrape all the battery acid out of it after you haven't played on it for 5 years. Then let me just say something. To play on the virtual console, you can't even just have the stupid ass controller plugged in. You have to get the remote out and select. You have to select the game using the Wii remote, even if you're going to be playing with a GameCube controller. So if I want to play a GameCube game on my Wii and I don't know where the hell my Wii remote is, I have to find it to play a GameCube game so I can select the fucking game on my Wii.
That's technically not true.
Yes, it is true.
You could use the GameCube because you could plug the GameCube controller into the top.
Can't. No, yes, you can, but then it doesn't select the game.
Well, yeah, you gotta navigate the operating system, sure. Where's your Wii that you can't find a Wii remote? Why can't you find your controller?
I don't have batteries.
Why? That's
because it's 2024. I don't need batteries.
If you're broke, say you're broke. Don't be hating on the Wii remote. Damn. You don't gotta go out to the Wii remote like that.
I do not use batteries.
Well, I do. I've got tons of batteries, and I love my Wii remotes. I loved it when it came out. It felt so cool after the 64 and the GameCube and everything to just go back to simple. It's an NES pad. It's the same thing, right? 1-2 button, little trigger on the back, little B button, D-pad.
And then you gotta plug it in, and then you gotta have two separate things. It's the same reason why I don't like the Joy-Con, because you gotta be.
They made a Pro controller. There's a Pro controller. I wasn't.
It's so dumb, and I hate it, and I'm so glad they never went back.
I liked it. My favorite controller, like I said earlier, is the Xbox controller. Probably the newest version, but to take a page out of the Atari and all of the crazy things that we're saying, I will shout out love for the Wii U gamepad. I love that little thing, and I'm going to miss dual screen gaming. I've said it since the launch of the Switch, and it just grows further and further. There is something to be said about, I know all the things that people say about the Wii U. Playing Zelda on Wii U is dope as fuck. Just like on 3DS.
I love having the map on the gamepad.
The map, your inventory, being able to swap it on the fly. Don't start the button, stop screen, none of that. It's so much fun. Also, for as much real estate as the Wii U gamepad looks like it has, it's relatively light. It's great. It has really good battery life. I've always liked it, even with its like weird stick placement where all the sticks are at the top, like the Steam Deck.
I don't mind that. I don't mind this. Like people don't like.
I don't mind. I prefer them to be split, but I don't mind. Like I said, I can play with anything. So I
the Wii U controller was my favorite for a very long time.
People love the Pro. People did love the Pro, and I like that we could still use our Wiimotes too. I still have many Wiimotes. I've got Yoshi Wiimotes and Mario Wiimotes, and I've got GameCube controller attachments that match. But the Wii U gamepad was dope. Navigating the OS, you didn't have to find your Wiimote to launch games on it, Rebecca. You just pick up the gamepad and press on the screen. It was fantastic. Sadly ahead of its time, and I don't think a lot of people ever got it. They just didn't get it. But that's a concept. Not that I want them to do it now, but that's the concept that I would love to see Nintendo come back to one day. I would love to see them.
So great. PlayStation just did the same goddamn thing. It charged $200 for it.
They tried. It doesn't interact the same, but yeah, it's a similar concept. G-Man says the Wii U is a DS 2.0. Man, back in those early old days, I was for sure that they should have just named it the DS Home.
The what?
Instead of trying to have the DS Home.
DS Home?
Because it was home. Yeah, it was like a DS Home console. Like what the DS was, dual screen. That's what the Wii U was. But they, for some reason, they were like, but let's call it the Wii. And it's like, but it's not the Wii. It's the DS.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, they had just, Not that I think the name was the only thing that screwed it over. I don't, because I think eventually you could have overcome the name, but I think it would have made more sense to more people. Because there's people today, to this very day, and I'm going to go on my little tangent for the Wii U, because it's what I do here. Get over it. To this very day, I meet people that not that I'm saying you're one of these people, Delvin, but I'm just going to use the example you just said. When they announced the PlayStation Portal, there are thousands of people that are like, PlayStation's making the Wii U, and it's like, that's not what the Wii U was at all. Like, y'all still don't know what it is. Like, it wasn't just a handheld. Like, it interacted with the screen it was dual screen. It was both screens, right? It wasn't one or the other. There's so many people that I think the Wii U is just a Wii with a handheld that you could like play offline.
They do,
They still think that. Like, they don't get it. And it bothers me that I can't like inform the masses of what the Wii U was. It's like, damn it.
Well, you can
listen to me. Get with it. But yeah.
This is your chance, Donnie. You can become like a cult leader, but just for like.
I'm trying. I've been trying to do that for so long. Man, it's I miss it.
You live in Georgia, so
I miss it, Delvin.
Here's your chance.
The dual screen gaming is so much fun. And, I know it's dumb, but like you could have your picture on the TV, just like I'm looking at you guys, and then you could hold up your gamepad and you could like look over here and it was a different picture. That was wild. It was VR before VR. Like what
it was very ahead.
Think VR is now literally it's like taking a Wii U gamepad, strapping it to your face and looking around in a game. That was Wii U. That's what Wii U did.
But you didn't have to look like an idiot with something strapped to your face.
And it's like, it literally is the same thing. When you think of like holding Wiimotes and you think of what the Wii U did with asymmetrical stuff, it literally is the Quest. There's like so much stuff there tech-wise that was just a decade ahead of its time and really poorly introduced. People don't know what it is. But if the Portal was the Wii U, Delvin, if the Portal did that, I bought a PlayStation immediately. I am in.
Spoilers, it doesn't do that.
It doesn't do that. It just literally streams the TV screen to this other thing. It's the same screen. Yeah, it's a bummer. Fucking bummer. So that's it.
That's it. If you need me, I'll be watching Taylor Swift watching Usher.
That's exactly what the broadcast is going to be. They're going to show more of Taylor during the halftime show they do of Usher. Yeah. And here's Taylor reaction.
But you know what's so crazy about her is that she will know every word of the Usher song. I saw a TikTok today of her Speak Now tour when she was like 19. She had Usher as a special guest at her concert on stage with her and singing his songs.
I saw a TikTok that completely blew me away. And going back to like our pre-show this morning before we went live, we were talking about Toby Keith. Did you know that Toby Keith signed Taylor Swift?
That he signed her, or his
he gave her first record deal.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. There's a whole interview of her when she's like, I don't know, like 13, talking about how much she liked him and how he saw her sing songs in Nashville and signed her to his record label. He's like,
well, then maybe I am not totally pleased.
I'll have to find that sentence.
About this recent news about him.
It completely blew my mind. They should have a Taylor cam. Like, I don't know what the NFL is doing if they don't have her literally picture in picture the whole time at the bottom.
Yes.
Just here's what Taylor Swift is reacting to the game in the halftime.
I would definitely during the commercials. I would watch more games.
Even during the commercial, like, here's what she thinks of the Pepsi commercial. Here we go. Like the whole thing. We should do the whole thing. Well, I wish you guys the best on. Well, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl. I'm going to try to catch up on some games before I got to go back to work tomorrow.
Did you know Rebecca Taylor Swift is friends with Jeff Jarrett?
I don't know who that is, but I believe it because she's friends with everybody.
Famed WCW wrestler who used to hit people in the head with guitars. They're like neighbors or some shit like that. Like he grew up with his family. They're like family friends.
Oh, good for her. Good for him. Good for them.
He calls people slap nuts.
See, there we go. Get us out of here.
All right, Couplings. Maybe we will have a partner direct this week, and maybe we will talk about it. We will have much to speculate about next week, I'm sure. So we'll see you there. Have a good week, Couplings.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?